I'm Chas from Chas's Crazy Creations. Welcome to Home Talk. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use etching cream. Let's get started. Here's some examples of the things we'll be etching today. And you can use anything that's glass, so mirrors count, picture frames, dishes, recycled bottles, and more. Next you'll need some etching cream, and there are a variety of brands out there. We'll put some of these in the materials link for you to check out. Okay, no matter what the piece is, the first thing you need to do is clean it and remove all labels. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to go ahead and take labels off and or clean the piece. So what I do first is just get some soapy water in my sink, and I'm going to put the dishes or the recycled bottles into the sink and let them soak for about 10 minutes. In the comments, please drop where you're watching from. I'd love to hear where you all live. I am in Fort Collins, Colorado. Now I've just made some soapy water, and then anything with a label or anything I'm going to etch, I go ahead and I drop into the soapy water and I let it sit for about 10 minutes. This is to clean the item, and then in addition to that, get those labels off really easy. So here we are about 10 minutes later, and you can see just how easy that was. It just came right off. Plus I can clean the rest of this dish or that glass, and the same thing with this one. Look how easy that just peels right off and cleans right up. So simple. If you ever get some really sticky residue on there, just go ahead and use some coconut oil, put it on it, leave it sit for about 10 minutes, and it will scrape right off. And one of my favorite things to use to kind of scrape is one of these little things, and you just go like that and it scrapes it right off. Once the piece has been washed, I make sure to dry it. And then an extra step is just to take an alcohol prep pad, or you can use rubbing alcohol with a cotton ball, and you just want to go ahead and clean the surface with that, so it's nice and clean and free of all oils and debris and sticky residues, and you're just gonna go ahead and wipe that all off, just like that. We're gonna go ahead and start with this plate, and one of the things I like to use are adhesive stencils, and there are a variety of kinds out there, but the adhesive stops the etching cream from leaking underneath, so that is one of my favorite choices to use. If you want to use a regular stencil that isn't adhesive, they do make things like spray adhesives out there that you can use to help adhere the stencil to the object and then not have it bleed through. Who is ready for spring? I sure am. Do you plant in your garden, or what is the thing that you look forward to the most in the spring? Drop that in the comments. So here's the stencil, and I'm just gonna go ahead and peel that off. And then you just do your best to place it on your plate or your item, however you want, and it's just your preference. And then you're gonna rub that in so that you want all of the pieces to be on there and you want all the bubbles to be out. Your goal is to get it all to adhere, so when you put the etching cream on, it doesn't bleed underneath the stencil. Now with most of these etching creams, the instructions are on the back, so you can just follow those. That'll help remind you how this works. So with a paintbrush and protective gloves on your hands, you're just gonna go in and you're just gonna brush it on. Now brush strokes do matter, and you do need to put a pretty generous amount. Now if I go over this edge, I will actually etch on the outside of this as well. So you wanna get a decent amount on, and you wanna be careful where you put it. And in addition to that, you want to go ahead, get plenty on there, and then watch for brush strokes. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop this on here. Just get it on here right away. One of my favorite things about spring are lilacs. I love the smell of the lilacs when they come out in the spring. Okay, so that's a pretty good amount. Now I want to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because otherwise it'll show your brush marks, brush strokes, like that. And you're gonna leave that on for about 10 minutes. Don't touch it, don't do anything. That's all you need to do. Now you'll notice I did this one on the bottom, but you could do this on the bottom or the top. It doesn't matter, because when you're done, you're gonna wash it off. So it's not like paint that you have to worry about eating surfaces and that kind of thing. All right, let's move this one aside and let's go ahead and work on the glass next. So I love these glasses. They sell them at Dollar Tree. There are so many things that you can put in this space. I'm going to start with maybe a college lettering. So I'm going to use CSU. That was my alma mater. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. Where did you go to school? If you went to school, high schools, colleges, Shout your mascot, shout your school spirit, yay. All right, and then once you get them on there, center them up, you know, and then start pressing them nice and hard so that you've got everything connected. Now, if you're worried at all that you're gonna go over the edge, you can always use something like painter's tape, or this is stencil tape, to go around the edge just to give it a little wider space for you to work with. And again, gloves on, using your etching cream. Just go ahead and dab that on there, make sure it coats the whole thing. But you just go ahead and fill all of that in and make sure you got enough in there, because that's the big piece. And then the same thing as before, leave it sit for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and do this mirror next. So you're gonna wanna take the mirror apart. This would work with picture frames as well. In the spirit of spring, we are going to use adhesives to honor the spring season. What are you putting in your garden? I usually grow some tomatoes, pumpkins, peppers, that kind of thing. So we're gonna just put this other one on here, and then remember to press down, get out all the bubbles. This time I'm gonna go ahead and add a little of that stencil tape to give me a little extra room on some of these edges. Gloves are on. Taking your etching cream and dabbing it on. Remembering that the brush strokes do matter, so if you want it to look smooth, I recommend really kind of caking it on. Okay, and once again, once you get all of this on here, you're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. You can always leave it on a little longer if you like. So you bring it to your sink and you leave the stencil on and you start running your water. And then you're gonna work with your gloves and your fingers to just wash off the etching cream like this. What would you make if you had a project like this at home? Would would you make a plate? Would you make a vase? And would you make it as a gift, and for who? I always think of all the holidays, Mother's Day, birthdays, weddings. These are great gifts for all of those opportunities. And this will be permanently etched, so it will be dishwasher safe. So when it's done, it'll be dishwasher safe. So it is now etched the glass. The great thing about these adhesive stencils is you just peel them up when you're done, and you can reuse them. So just clean them up and stick them back on their stencil paper, and you'll reuse them. So I'm gonna set this aside. And then if there's any residual left, you're just gonna go ahead and finish washing that off. Now it's a little hard to see here, but I will show you, you can see a little bit, but I will show you on a better surface here in a second. Okay, they're all dry, cleaned up, and ready to be revealed. So let's get started, and I'll show you a few other projects I've made along the way. Let's start with the plate. So here's the etched flower for spring and the plate. I love how it turned out, and again, this will be able to go in the dishwasher. And next, let's go ahead and look at that glass. And you can see how the etched letters turn out on there. So now you have a nice set of dishes. And on to the picture frame. Just in time for spring. And let's go over a few other things that I have made along the way. So these were just stick-on stencils, and I could use this as a candle holder. I've also done this piece, which could either be a juice glass or I use it to hold my pens. I've also etched coffee mugs. Here's a recycled bottle that I did, and I stuck the stickers of the letters on, taped it off, and then etched all around those letters and then peeled them off. So it says water, and we use this to fill water with on our dinner table. Then I used a self-adhesive sticker stencil to go and do the rest of the way around this one. So lots of possibilities, from candle holders to dishes to home decor. Lots of possibilities, lots of great gifts for people, and useful items from your home. Also, I love that you can use things like upcycling and repurposing. Now, just a reminder that anything I use today, you can go check out in the materials link. I'm looking forward to transferring this giant plastic avocado oil into my new upcycled, recycled jar. I love repurposing and upcycling, and I hope you do too. I'd love it if you'd follow me on Home Talk TV. Thank you, Home Talk, for having me. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at Chasa's Crazy Creations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.